Question. How do we call him? He gave us a signal.
What up, Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries and our faithful Spartans? It is your boy Trey from the Batcave, and we are live once again. But first, we got to bring in the best co-host I could ever ask for. I got to create the suspense. The Super Bro Corey. My man.
What's up, everybody? How we doing to this wonderful Saturday morning? It's a beautiful day. It's Mother's Day weekend. It's going to be a great weekend. How we doing?
It certainly is. It's been really good, man. Busy, as you already know. It's been a long week. Sorry, I was just posting our show on Twitter. But yeah, it's been a busy week. Just kicking in the new job, trying to learn everything that I possibly can and get my life in order. It's not easy to get all these shows up and running and try to stay busy with you guys, but it is wonderful to be here with everyone. And plus you get to watch Halo, and geek out a little bit. How about you, Corey?
Yeah, no, it was a good week. Nice, busy, productive week and everything like that. So yeah, it was good. We had I thought a good live show stream the other day. What was that? Was that Tuesday or
Wednesday?
Wednesday, man. This week went by quick. So
right, yeah. Hopefully the internet connection doesn't drop like it did on that show.
Oh yeah, that was that show, man.
That was the rough show where shit just did not work in our favor.
Bring back Super Bro channel.
Oh, hurtful.
Yeah, man. No,
Hamada just wanted to take us out. But guys, we are so happy you are here with us for our Halo episode 7 spoiler review. Yeah. As always, it helps us out so much when you smash that like, share this video, and subscribe to our channel, and definitely hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode, because we want to see you hear more. And when you share this video, it helps get more eyes on it. Like getting your friends in the live chat, it just makes it all the more fun as we discuss this episode, because I won't lie to you guys, I'm a little conflicted on it. There's scenes I really did like, and there's a certain thing I'm just not vibing with throughout the entire series. But I wanted to hear from you guys, and I actually talked with some fans on some of the Facebook pages I follow for Halo and kind of got their feedback on some of the themes. Hopefully they'll join us in the live chat at some point, but some interesting stuff to discuss. But if you want to support us even more, and you want to make us feel all so loved and all so sweet, super chat goes a long way. Of course, we because Corey is not at his usual office and desk working on our show, our PowerPoint's gonna look a little different. It doesn't quite pull over the way it normally does, but it's the same deal, right? It's the same message. So you can always help support our channel by smashing that like, sharing the video, and super chat, because it just helps us. All the money goes right back in to the same place, right? Like it goes right back into our show, which we do with one second, sorry, removing a spammer. So Yes, super chat goes a long way in helping support our channel as we try to upgrade our equipment, cameras, lighting, re-subscribing to our subscriptions like StreamYard to help us out. So it definitely means a lot when you guys give us a super chat. And plus we like to give you guys a little thank you back with some of our fun little videos. So with that being said, Corey, are you ready to get back into spoiler review territory?
Nope.
I am.
No, yeah. But the reason I said nope is because, as always, Trey, we are supposed to do the episode 6 recap.
Oh, absolutely. But I just figured if we're going to spoil episode 6, if you haven't watched our episode 6 review, this one's going to be confusing for you. Well, actually, episode 6 didn't really affect episode 7, so you'll be fine. But
you just want me to play the spoiler warning.
I just want you to play it.
All right.
It's not just a signal. It's a warning.
That's awesome, guys. So episode 6 recap, just we go over real quick where we left off our characters in the last previous episode, but essentially it was just a lot of conflict. It was very character driven, not really any action. Master Chief is no longer trusting Dr. Halsey ever since he learned that she kidnapped him, basically, and he even threatened to end her life if to test out Cortana's abilities. But we also got a lot of interactions between Chief and Maki, their new prisoner from the Covenant, and we learned recently that somehow Maki and Chief are connected as blessed ones, and they can actually go into once integrated with the Forerunner artifact and into their dreamlike state, which we ended up on the Halo ring. They share cognitive and
a kiss.
They didn't. Wait, no, they didn't kiss. Don't. And they kiss. Yeah, there was a weird like hairbrush. I personally think that wasn't so much a romantic thing. I think it was just more of I'm dreaming, right? Nope, you're actually here. It was just a weird way to handle it. Master Chief, he likes to touch things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Jurassic Park right there. The Lost World, like, why does she always have to touch? They always have to touch. So that's kind of where we left off our characters in our previous episode. It was very interesting and very cool to see the conflict and the distrust between Master Chief and really the entire UNSC. It was really cool to kind of finally see them on the Halo ring, wherever that leads into. I'm sure their story will pick back up in episode 8. But as we learned from our teaser trailer last week, we learned that this episode was going to be all about, as I love people who have been saying this, the side quest of Kwanha. Yellow Devil, my man, time for mozzarella sticks with chipotle sauce. I don't know, Corey, that actually kind of sounds good.
No, that sounds great. I'm talking about the Kwanha.
Oh, the Kwanha. Corey, first off, I didn't even say hello to everyone. Who's
I know you kind of.
I'm just ready to go. I have a lot to do today. So, Corey, pick this up.
All right, we got Kung Fu Scuba Babe. What's up, Kung Fu Scuba? We have Oracle's Clock Tower.
Awesome.
Fanatic, Mistress of Mayhem.
Love
Trevor
it.
H, the Batman who laughs. Restore the Snotabus guy.
Let's go, Spartans.
The butler, he's drinking some hot tea. Red Hooded Outlaw. You know we have Dadpool in the house. Bat Fanatic. Super Bat Mom. Beyond the Night. Happy early Mother's Day, Super Bat Mom.
Happy early Mother's Day. We'll see you tomorrow, Mom.
Mistress of Mayhem.
Super Bat Mom, I'm actually really excited to hear your thoughts on this. I mean, even though I know we'll probably talk more when I see you tomorrow and we do our barbecue, but as someone who's not
she passed out last night.
She didn't watch it?
No, well, she tried, and it was just a busy day for her at work, and she passed out when we were trying to watch it together.
Oh yeah, so she has like 12-hour shifts and stuff like that. So yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Well, here I am.
Here I am.
Batwoman. We got Yellow Devil. Did I miss anybody? Think I got everybody. But guess what's coming in hot already, big fellow? Restore the Snyderverse guy.
My
Let's
man.
get this party started
with that $10 super chat.
Oh, wow.
My man. Thank you so much. And it looks, did you change your name recently? I knew it used to be the Restore the Snyderverse guy. Now you just giving up the V. You don't need the thing anymore. You just put the hashtag Restore the Snyderverse guy. Respect.
He's become a symbol now.
A symbol of hope.
Well, yes. Not it's not a name anymore. It's more like a symbol. The hashtag Restore the Snyderverse guy is a symbol.
A symbol of hope and integrity and just nonstop, never give up attitude. And I love it. I love it, soldier. Corey, play my man hashtag Restore the Snyderverse. Something also juicy, also awesome.
Thank you, buddy.
Dear humanity, we regret being alien bastards. We regret coming to Earth. And we most definitely regret the Corps just blew up our raggedy-ass fleets. Hoorah!
Hoorah! Love it. Love Sarge. I can't wait. I still say that's one of my most anticipated themes for this entire series.
But I'm a little concerned. Don't you think that they're trying to make Keys look a little...
I could see where you say that, but he's just not he doesn't have the right attitude and the badassery to even if that is their sad attempt to have Sarge around, the show will immediately lose a lot of points from me.
I agree, and it would be sad. We definitely need Sarge. I still want Robert Downey Jr. to play it.
Damn, man.
Tropic Thunder.
What's the fucking name? Huh? What you mean, you people? I'm sorry.
You know
that really happened, man? Girl lost her kids, man. Ryan Swayze, my man, is so good to see you in the chat. Ryan Swayze, my man. How you been? Good Saturday morning, everybody. Don't forget your mom this weekend. Yes, don't forget your mom. Happy Martha Day.
Happy Martha Day.
Hurtful. We are definitely doing some cool stuff with our mom. We make time for our mom. You can make time for your mom. Just do it. Just make time for your mother, okay? Because she went through the pain of 9 months of having to bear your silly stupid ass. Guys, it is so good to see everyone here. Thank you for hanging out with us for our Halo episode 7 Inheritance spoiler review. Corey, are you ready?
You know damn well I'm ready.
We're ready. I didn't even notice. Did you play the spoiler warning?
I did. It's a Saturday morning, people.
It's a Saturday morning. See, I even, and we're doing it an hour earlier than we normally do. So I need coffee. So guys, Corey, let's go ahead and get started with episode 7. And like with any Halo series episode so far this season, what better way to start an episode than with a flashback? Let us take you back 2 years ago, so 2550 on Madrigal, with Kwan Ha and her family.
How many years ago was it?
It was 2 years ago, they said.
Okay.
So not long. But clearly, Madrigal is still very much in the war against the UNC, rebelling. But it looks like they're kind of having a Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know. Just a nice little table family outing. And of course, Madrigal's entertaining. Sorry, not Madrigal. Kwan Ha is entertaining a young little boy with the blue flame that looks to be the deuterium resource that they have on Madrigal that the UNSC wants so badly with and of course the dinner table talk is all about the war against the UNSC. But man, I feel like this wasn't a great start to the episode simply because people already don't care for Kwan Ha's character, and she came off as a moody teen.
A spoiled little brat.
I actually wrote that in my notes when I was watching the show. I was like, what, like, why is she's just searching for conflict nonstop. She's just always looking to, cause problems, or to get an argument. Like she already doesn't like this guy that I think her mom was trying to maybe set her up with or something, like, or just to be nice to somebody who was new to the movement, to free Madrigal. And already she was just like, do you realize what this rebellion is about? You're just gonna fight and then you're gonna go right back, doing what you're doing now. It's not going to change your life other than you're under the illusion of freedom. And she actually said something interesting to her father in that flashback where she was like, don't bring in your soldiers and feed them your lies. And I thought that was like an interesting move on Halo the series part, because they're kind of like, you kind of think with anything like the rebels going up against the UNSC because they're trying to tell people how to, handle their resources, that they get all the resources and not really pay for it well. And they're kind of putting people in poverty. That's why there's a rebellion everywhere in the galaxy. And yet here they're creating this conflict within the rebellion that like somehow her father is convincing all these people to join him through lies. And I think that's just an interesting, I'm not sure exactly why that narrative is. They kind of did a similar thing with Star Wars Rogue One.
You want to know why, Trey?
Why?
Because this is propaganda for the UNSC.
Oh, the whole Halo series is just propaganda for the UNSC. Would you like to know more? Join the UNSC. Oh man, hey, you're not wrong there. I mean, Corey, what did you think of this particular scene? Because what it reminded me of, I don't know if you've ever seen. What's that?
That's exactly what this is. We all hate Kwanha. We want to smash the rebels.
Oh, so they're just trying to make you hate Kwanha.
Yes.
So they're like, oh, the rebels are stupid.
Yes.
Corey,
Smash
did you ever
the
see?
rebels, join the UNSC, get these people out of here.
Corey, did you ever see Star Wars Rogue One?
No, I have not.
No. Okay.
So I'll be honest with you. I've tried to watch it a few times. Unfortunately I've only tried to watch it while it's late at night, and it starts off extremely slow.
Well, I'll put it this way, Corey. It's like one of those, like, I think people watch it because the ending sequence is like the best thing that the Star Wars films have had in a very long time. I don't want to give it away, but you need to watch at some point. Rogue One was a cool film. The issue I had with that film is that in Star Wars, the lore is kind of, the rebels are good, right? It's black and white, really. The rebels are good, Empire is bad. And Rogue One was the first film that kind of grayed that line, kind of blurred that line a little bit, that the rebels were willing to do anything to win the war against the Empire. And I didn't know how I felt about that, because it added some complexity to it. And honestly, is it true that probably that those sort of things happened in the war? Yes. But at the same time, I kind of enjoy the innocence of that narrative in Star Wars, where rebel good, Empire bad, Jedi good, Sith bad.
No, but I don't know if you can necessarily say that, because in episode 3, it definitely makes kind of a blurred line between what's good, what's evil, It
does in a way, but I still feel like the problem with that whole idea, like, well, okay, the Jedi are just forcing their rule on the Republic because the Chancellor is bad, but the Chancellor is bad. He is corrupt and he is taking over one. So, I mean, here we are talking about Halo.
He's
and talking
created
about
an
Star Wars.
empire. He's trying to make everybody better.
You're such a Sith. You're such a Sith. Only a Sith deals in absolutes, Corey. Was that a Starship Troopers reference? Yes, it was. I'm glad someone caught that. Thank you. Nuka Rico. That's awesome.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I guess I wasn't expecting to get back into Star Wars, but it is technically Star Wars week, so
hello there.
It's this is the May. So yeah, no, I don't know. I think that yeah, episode 3 definitely did that to us as well. You know, it's a little bit of a shady line, you know, because the Jedi weren't doing everything squeaky clean either, you know.
Yeah.
How Mace Windu handled everything, they could have kept in my opinion, Anakin on the right side, but they were kind of going things around, you know, thinking they're badass, going to do things a little bit different.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it is an interesting thing. I was just not, to me, it was kind of like just like a weird narrative to build in it, but it just made me once again dislike her character a little bit
Oh, for
more,
sure.
just because she's just once again this. I mean,
Spoiled little
rebellious,
brat, right?
sure, she's a teenager, she's immature, she's growing, she doesn't quite understand everything. And as we learned in the first Halo episode, she was hoping to leave that planet. Like she wanted to leave. I think she called it this dumb rock.
Well, it made me even more annoyed because she's not trying to do this, continue this battle, continue the fight because she believes in it. I still don't think she believes in the fight. She just feels bad because she let her daddy down, you know?
That's what I mean. That's an interesting point. Yeah, she certainly
Daddy wasn't there.
certainly her call to action wasn't the mission itself, but to finish what her father started. But I think she does feel a certain responsibility to protect the people of Madrigal because it was her father's mission. So I do think she believes in that. She just is clearly not the leader that her father is, or didn't have the connections and the respects that her father did.
But how old do you think she is?
14, 15, 16. I don't know.
Yeah.
She doesn't strike me
She's
as being
still
in
not
her
a
20s.
leader. She still doesn't have, you know, great ideas and things like that, you know, like
Yeah.
they're trying to make her out more like there's no way 15-year-olds are going to be 15-year-olds are going to be able to do the stuff that she's doing, you know. So it's very
Yeah, no, I agree. But after that whole little arguments that her and her father had, it cuts to present day time, where we kind of last left her off in I believe episode 5. She had been handcuffed to the bike that broke down that her and Soren were going on. Soren was planning on taking her off the planet because in his mind, Venture has Madrigal in control and they're vastly outnumbered, and it's just a winless battle. So he was going to get her out of there because he promised John 117 that he was going to get her out of there and safe. And with, as we saw, and was one of my biggest issues with episode 5 is that she set up a trap for when he came back with a new vehicle to get them to a transport off the planet. She had set up this trap and knocked him out and acted as if she was going to shoot him with his revolver. And to me, it was just proof of her immaturity and just her silliness. And just like, why would you get rid of the one person who's trying to help you? And honestly, he has saved her multiple times as Venture sent assassins to go get her. So we find her. She stole Soren's ride that he brought back, and is still continuing her quest to find the Mystics. And she's traveling into a sandstorm, and she sees shadowy figures in the sand when she is captured. And it cuts to, of course, the opening sequence of the show.
I'm sorry, you're wanted in this work planet, and you see shadowy figures in a sandstorm, and she stops. She comes to a stop. I'm sorry, I would be pedal to the metal at that point. Where we're going,
just driving through everyone
out of the way, yella. Just
like I think that's just like, is that a body? Yep. I didn't get my license. No. But as you guys know, with our spoiler reviews, I like to kind of break it down by planet, where the storyline is going. So because this show in particular was very much resolved, a part of Kwanha's story and where it resolves and stuff like that, I decided to start with the planet Rubble first, which is where we first found Soren. And we learn that Soren is alive because I noticed he wasn't in that little car thing with Kwanha. he is alive. He has returned on a transport back to his planet, his base, his home base of rubble, and he's having some guests over. He's partying up, drinking, and of course he's over exaggerating some stories, but he's clearly the life of the party. But I guess one of his partners, his friends, Squirrel is what they call him, decides to test his leadership, test his power by saying basically you came home with nothing. You didn't get your money, you didn't get a new ship. Like you this whole quest you did is, beneath you, and you failed miserably,
one might say.
Yeah. And basically is suggesting we need new power because you are not the same man you once were. And I personally loved this particular episode. What I really loved was Soren. Soren was really, really cool to me because you knew the moment Squirrel challenged Soren, Squirrel was going to be a goner, or at least he was going to be taken out of the equation somehow. But it cuts to where Squirrel is going through rubble and seeing people, and he's going on a train somewhere, and of course Soren shows up to have a little conversation with him. And I love that you can feel the tension from Squirrel, that he's like, oh shit, like he's gonna kill me, and I wasn't fooled by it, but like when Soren was like, so you're working on a big score, huh? Like, tell me about it. Yeah, let's work on this together.
You're talking about when they were in the small room and
in that small train going through.
Dude,
I just loved that.
I literally laughed out loud at that scene.
Oh, did you really? Why is that?
Yeah, when he stuck his little nub hand in there.
No,
it's like boom, and the thing shut on it, and it's like, not my strong hand.
Oh no, Scary Movie 2 reference. Oh, hello, cars. I know what you like. How about a leg?
I was like,
Oh my god, that's hilarious. But I just loved how that scene was played, and you just knew Soren was up to something. I'm surprised Squirrel even thought like, oh, I guess we're good. Our conversation is good. Like we're okay here. But it is certainly a pirate's life for Soren.
I have no say in it, Gibbs. It's a pirate's life for me. Savvy.
And this is one scene I'm a little depressed that they didn't hash out a little bit. Like I would have loved to have seen them take this freighter. I think they called it a logistics freighter from the UNSC that they captured and stole all their shit.
But then again, there was only like one UNSC person on it, so it's like
they're like, it's just you. Yeah. Like, what's so important about it? I don't know. You can have it though. You don't have to shoot. No. Oh gosh. Yeah.
That's the government for you, right?
The UNSC, they're like, we spent so much money fighting creating Spartans and making Cortana that we can't afford much employees.
This is a lot of stuff that we don't want to fall into pirates' hands, but let's see. Trey, you watch the payload.
Oh my god! Yep, you in the red shirt. But so they're able to obviously take this freighter with ease, and I just love that as they're transporting it all to their rigs, that Soren uses this opportunity to put Squirrel back in his place and dropping this lift onto his foot, just crushing it. And I love that Squirrel's like, his girl goes up to help him, and Soren just being like a total like badass in control. He's just like, you want to help my team? Like go help. It was such a pirate thing, right? To do. It was just so piratey.
Yeah, when it fell on his foot, I was like,
You cheated.
Pirate.
It definitely felt like that. Like it was such just a pirate. Like just the fact that like Squirrel being such an idiot, and then his girl coming over to him like, oh, I'll help you. And Sora just being like the freaking, the dude running the show, just being like, go help my team. Like, leave this piece of shit. And she's like, sorry, you're on your own now, John.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It was just fantastic. I just loved that whole sequence. But of course,
they need to pull a Godfather and make him like kiss his little nubby hand.
Oh, no. Which, guys, speaking, I mean, just simply, I know we're going to sidetrack just a second here from the show, but because Corey mentioned Godfather, there's a show on Paramount Plus that you need to see.
It's the offer.
What I want is a guarantee that you are going to like, share, subscribe to our channel. No, guys, if you haven't watched The Offer on Paramount Plus, it's all about the behind the scenes story of how they made the Godfather film and all the crazy bullshit they had to go through with the Frank Sinatra drama, the studio drama. I mean, as there is with pretty much any film, right? But also the, just trying the mafia drama. It is an insane show. I mean, I'm sure they're over exaggerating some things, but like even the cast that they got to like play Al Pacino and Corey.
Holy cow, that kid is fire.
He is fire. Corey, I have something to confess.
What's that?
My wife made me, I shouldn't say made me. I watched the latest episode without you. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You do that again, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
That's fair, Luca Brasi. That is fair.
maybe you might find a head in your bed tonight when you go to bed tonight. I can't tell you anymore. Ellie,
Corey, I will watch it again with you because it was phenomenal. They had someone play Marlon Brando.
You done messed up, Ron.
I will watch it again because it was really good. See, guys, that's how much I like this
betrayed
offer show.
Hashtag not a fan of Trey Super Bro Corey.
Not a fan of Trey?
Yeah. Hashtag boo Trey.
Hashtag boo Trey?
Yeah.
Hurtful. It's really good, Corey, though. I'll watch it with you again because I think this latest episode you're gonna freak a bit.
No, and it's funny too because I do like that mafia side of things. I do like the kind of the rundown with all that. I love Frank Sinatra. Our family even has some history with Al Capone. So I've always been interested in the
sell him vegetables,
the mafia side of things,
and we made him pay the right price.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. But yes,
boo Trey.
Hurtful. I'm sure people are blowing it. Yep. Yeah. Boo Trey. But if you haven't watched The Offer, if you're looking for something else to watch on Paramount Plus, you'll actually recognize the same actor who played Vinsher. He is also in the show Burn Gorman. He is playing. Yeah, he's playing Charlie, the CEO of Paramount Plus. Sorry, not Paramount Plus, Paramount Studios. Mm-hmm. But he plays a phenomenal character in that show. But Corey, as we get back to it, we were talking about Rubble and Soren. After he takes Squirrel out of the picture, his wife is discussing with him, basically noticing that he's acting out. And I think the Squirrel conflict, because it seems like Squirrel is loved by the people of Rubble and Soren is feared amongst the people of Rubble. So I see that becoming a eventual conflict for Soren that we could see potentially in season 2, if I had to guess. Because I don't think Squirrel and really everyone else is going to put up with that behavior much longer. But Soren's wife basically says that he's acting out because he feels guilty about leaving Kwanha because he made a promise to John. And I love how I felt like Soren in a lot of ways was kind of like the audience, you know, like where he's just annoyed by her. Like, she's just a pain in the ass, man. Like, why I don't want to help her, but like, I made a promise. I have to go. And she's just a girl. I have to help her. You know, she's just a kid. But which we all know in Halo, you don't want to be a kid. It's one of those situations like
Kids. Fuck them kids. Fuck the kids? Yeah.
so
F the kids?
What's that, Super Bro Corey?
F the kids?
At the kids. At the kids. So we know he's probably going to make the decision to go back and help her out, which I will say this, I don't know how fast not time travel, but like, you know, space travel is, but they make it seem like it takes nothing to get from Rubble to Madrigal and to like everywhere in this, because it seemed like it all took place within 2 days or 3 days maybe.
Just right down the street, Trey.
Just right down the street, you know. But we get back, we know Soren is gonna return to Madrigal and help Kwanha, but we go back on Madrigal now, and Kwanha, her blindfold is taken off, and she is surrounded by a tribe of women, the Mystics, which
it could be worse.
What's that?
It could be worse.
Could be worse, yep. Which the matriarch of the Mystics is Desidera, something like that. Desertera, I think is her name. But she is the leader of this tribe. And Corey, I don't know if you noticed, but there is a ton of Forerunner Easter eggs in this particular whole scene with the Mystics. Did you catch any of them?
I'm not sure.
So there was a lot of Forerunner glyphs on like the bands that on that the Mystics were having a lot of their like language on there. There was a lot of symbols of the Forerunners and stuff like that. And there was one that I caught that made me wonder, and you can kind of see it in that picture. It's a little tough. Let me see if I can blow it up for you guys a little bit. There's this circle that has 7 triangles, and it made me wonder if that was a symbol for the 7 Halo rings. So this tribe is somehow very much connected to, I mean, maybe they're possibly reclaimers in a way, or even Forerunners themselves, because I know there was some concept art in a previous I think they were working on a comic where Forerunners were basically humans with like white hair and weird eyes. And I don't know about you, Corey, but this scene reminded me of a lot of, you probably haven't seen this film yet, have you? Have you seen Dune?
I have not.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know what it is with space shows and movies, but anytime you have a desert planet, it seems like the thing that people always want from that desert planet is the resource or spice, you know, like from Dune or Tatooine even, you know, that we learned a lot from Book of Boba Fett. But the reason why this reminded me of Dune was that these Mystics kind of are like, I forget what they call them in Dune, the tribe, but they have, their eyes are like different. And it made me wonder if it's because they've absorbed a lot of, you know, they've been around the resource of Madrigal that the UNSC wants, and this fuel and stuff like that, that if they, you know, have their eyes have changed over time. What did you think of that, Corey? Do you think they're human, or do you think they're reclaimers, Forerunners? What do you think?
I'm not entirely sure yet. I was more wondering that blue juice, that the blue milk.
Yeah, that was made from I think they called it like heavy water. But yeah, I think it's made from yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if would you drink it, Trey?
Would I drink it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I get the same vision or similar vision that she does, hell no. I don't want to get into a fight with Master Chief. And that's exactly what happens. Of course, and this is where I say, I feel like they didn't do right with Kwan Ha's character, because in the scene, she's just once again like kind of like an entitled brat, where she's like, I need to know, I came out here all the way for you, like give me answers, like I deserve them. I fought people for you. I took out a Spartan. And it's just like, you didn't take out Spartan, you tricked him when he was trying to help you. Like she tried to make it sound like she was this badass warrior that traveled so far and long to find them, and yet she's just kind of been using people around her. Like she didn't really put in much effort. She just got the upper hand on people because she's a kid and they treated her like a kid rather than an adult. So I was kind of irritated with that in this particular scene, where she's just kind of like, I deserve to know, like, tell me, like, I've done all these incredible things. And it's like, you haven't done anything incredible, like you've just had help along the way. But
Yeah,
when they do,
sucks.
well, I just feel like that wasn't a smart move for them to have some of those scripted lines like that, because it didn't play well for her character, in terms of how the fans perceive her. At least what I think majority of fans perceive her. I'm sure there's some people that enjoy her character, but when she does drink this heavy water theme, she goes under into
milk.
What's that?
Blue milk.
She drinks the blue milk, but she drinks the water and she has a vision. And before she drinks the water, I should say that the matriarch of the Mystics, she tells Kwan Ha that, her great ancestor went looking for water amongst this wasteland and dug a well, and he found the resource that is what made Madrigal, very useful to the UNC, and what made the Madrigal profitable, really. And he also met some other, I think they called it a person from another, not from the world, basically, another space being, I think is what they referred to it as, which made me wonder if they were discussing a Forerunner. But then again, when you see this vision, as we'll continue on to that, she is awoken by that Jackal character from the I believe the second episode, who's kind of crazy, and said, Kwan Ha was like important, basically. And he basically takes her into that same tent that she was in earlier, and it's just like, cool, you're going to be our star of the show tonight, and you are going to be in a fight club, but your opponent.
Hey, we don't talk about Fight Club.
Oh, I'm sorry, we don't talk about Fight Club. But she is going to be in a brawl with none other than Master Chief. I'm just telling you now.
This is my favorite part of the freaking show. I said last show I wanted Kwan Ha dead. And what happened?
Oh my God.
We got it not once, not twice, but 3 times. Man.
I have a feeling it was more than that. I think we only saw 3 times, because what happens is she has to fight her rage. That the matriarch told her that her rage will not serve her. And that is basically what's holding her back, for her to be ready to know the truth of what her father saw from the Mystics many years before, that sent him on this journey to fight and try to free Madrigal. And when she basically, because of her rage, and who knows why I think she just fights because they tell her to, and she's just an angry child. But like, her fighting Master Chief was as about as pathetic as you could possibly imagine. I do give her some respect that she just kept going at it. Like, she just kept trying. Even though it was just like, you want to talk about a pointless, what it reminded me of, Corey?
What?
It reminded me of Man of Steel. When that guy, when Clark Kent is at the bar, and the dude is like hitting on the girl, and Clark says, stop, like, leave her alone, man. And then he like tries to push Clark away, and Clark doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't budge.
That's what it felt like with Master Chief. Master Chief just like, seriously.
Yeah. She's trying to stab him.
Yeah. And it's basically, it's kind of like, you know,
I didn't really like, what the hell too. She was like trying to kill Master Chief, you know, and
I mean, clearly she realized she was in a vision and a dream like state, so she knew she wasn't going to be really killing Master Chief. I think you
think that's true?
I think so, yeah, because I think she respects Master Chief, because you kind of see that in another vision that she has, where really it's kind of a lot like Christmas Carol, where Master Chief and certain characters in her life are kind of like the ghost of Christmas past. They're kind of leading her on this journey to self-discovery. So take it like that, basically, is that, you know, Master Chief is this ghost kind of leading her to try to fight against her rage so she can let it go. And in this time loop where she keeps dying in her fight against Master Chief, I'm gonna assume it happened more than 3 times. Because if she gave up after 3 times, then I'm even more disappointed in her. But I'm going to assume they just showed us 3 times. But when she finally, I think, gives up her anger and she's like screaming in, you know, just frustration, like, what do you want from me? Like, what do you want me to do? And it changes from Master Chief without his armor to just John, and he lends her a hand. And leads
before we
her.
get to that part, can we just acknowledge the fact that when Master Chief was killing Quan Hao over and over and over and over again, we missed probably key videography moments, you know? It would just go black screen and then get up, you know? I was hoping, you know, we'd maybe see a kill cam footage of Master Chief, you know, teabagging Quan Hao afterwards, you know,
and just hear narration over Kilimanjaro.
Yeah,
unfreaking believable.
The last one, he's like actually teabagging, you know, so it's like, yeah,
you know, I would have been okay with that too. That would have been fine with me. Oh man, Corey. That's hilarious, dude. But yeah, the Chief Christmas Ghost, yeah. But when he lends her a hand and takes her to you know, it's in the night at this desert, and takes her to the well, she sees what I believe is her ancestor. And Corey, can you go to our next slide? Here's the biggest thing that I saw from this episode that made me, I almost didn't register right away, because it happened so quick. Like literally, if you looked away, you had to like perk your head back up. Literally, it was my wife who was like, "Oh my god, is that what I think it is?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I like looked back up because I was typing notes for the show today, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's a monitor from the Halo rings." Corey. So here's what I have to ask. You saw this episode. Is that 343 Guilty Sparks, or is it just another monitor, or is it something completely else?
I think it probably it's probably something else. Maybe they make it a fan favorite and they get him in. But I'm probably leaning more towards it's a monitor for sure. But I'm
just not sure if it's.
Greetings. I am the monitor of Installation 04. I am 343 Guilty Spark.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's 343 Guilty Spark for sure.
I'm not certain either. And based off the design, it looked more like a sphere than kind of like what we see from the video games. But then again, I mean, when is ever live action versus video games when they keep perfectly with, you know, the designs of things? I would think they would for 343 because it's such an iconic character.
And that's a good point too. Maybe the monitors are basically Alexa of this time. You know, they all have the same voice. They all Alexa, Guilty Spark. Make sure you put sodas on next week's grocery list.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Damn it.
Hey man, I do hope if they do you know, Jennifer right, am I saying Jennifer? Oh man, I'm totally spacing her name. Who does Cortana's voice? Jen Taylor. I would hope they get the same voice for 343 Guilty Sparks when that time comes in the show.
I wouldn't see why they wouldn't.
It makes sense too. I mean, you never see. I mean, it's not Guilty Spark is an artificial intelligence sphere. Guarding the rings from the flood. So I thought it was very interesting. But as we see, the ancestor starts to walk towards Quan and is changing throughout the many generations of Quan Ha's ancestry until it gets to her father. And they had this like really nice reconciliation scene where she's sorry that she basically was a punk all this time. And, he's doing his whole fatherly thing. Like, it wasn't your fault. It's okay. I mean, you were annoying, but it wasn't your fault. It was your mom's. You definitely got that from her. I'm just kidding.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yep. Happy Mother's Day.
After mothers.
Nope. But yeah, so they have that wonderful conversation, and he tells her that the well is a portal, and what he was told from, I'm assuming, the Monitor, which is interesting, as being that other being that he supposedly the ancestors talked to, is, I wonder, basically the prophecy is once Madrigal is saved, the secrets of the well, this portal, will be revealed. So that's what set Quan Ha's father on this mission and this rebellion against the UNSC. So kind of an interesting concept. Corey, if you had to guess your theory, where does this portal lead?
Obviously, I go back and forth, probably to a Halo, the monitors, watching over it. A Batwoman put another artifact. Oracle Clock Tower said to Halo Ring. Trevor H said to Halo Ring. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. I think another artifact is possible as well. I'm kind of leaning more towards a ring.
Okay,
but not sure. I'm not exactly sure where they're going with this.
Yes, I'm not sure.
Gulch with red
blood culture, the red versus blue. God damn it, Caboose. That would be awful. Actually, you know what? If it takes Quan Ha there, good. We'll leave it there. Like, you want to, no, she's orange. No, she's pink. No, she's orange. Another ring. Yeah, I think because it's a monitor, I think it'll be a ring that it leads them to. Maybe it's the portal that takes them to the first Halo ring that we know from Combat Evolved. I could see it leading them to an artifact. Whoever said that, I think that was it Batwoman who said that? I could see that being the case. But for now, I think it's probably going to be a ring. If the monitor is there, I mean, unless if they're changing the lore, because the monitor's jobs were to protect and monitor the rings, the Halo rings. So it'll be curious to see when the next time the monitor will show up, maybe at the end of the season or season 2. Who knows? But as it ends with
season 10 finale.
Yeah. As it ends with Quan Ha's father telling her that she is a protector and that she must save Madrigal, and kind of gives her a hint on how to defeat Vinsher, as she knows she's kind of on her own at this point. Like, she's a one-man army at this point. And she then awakes with the Mystics, and they tell her that, as her father said, go where it all began, which was right back to that base from episode 1, probably for budgetary reasons that they had to use the same set. I'm just kidding. And for story, for plot. But she then returns back to her home base that we saw in episode 1, where the Covenant had killed her father. And amongst the ruins, she finds a letter from her father to his, I think, grandfather, so her great-grandfather, asking about the well and its purpose. I think he was conflicted about the mission that he felt he had to go on as well. But during that time, to create extra conflict, we learned that Governor Venture, which Corey, I just think he's a wonderful villain. Can you go to our next slide, please?
Absolutely.
I just think Bern Gorman just did a phenomenal job with this villain. Like he was just so cold and just like downright awful. But he has his people bring in former general of the Madrigal Rebellion, Agatha, who was a friend of Kwanha, and is basically like, so here's the deal. Like basically Jinha was like a failure. Like he did not help you. He put you in a bad spot. Kwanha's going to do the same. So don't help her. Tell me where she is. And of course, she has no idea where Kwanha is at the moment. But it doesn't take long for, I guess, this is kind of like the silly part where like, I think they just did this scene to show his coldness and his savagery, because it was basically like, okay, why are you like interrogating people of where Kwanha is when your satellite just easily picked her up and knows her location?
To kill.
What's that?
To kill.
To kill, right? Yeah. Like, so he literally just offs Agatha, and I loved it that she was like, okay, are we done with this conversation? Can I leave now? And he's like, yeah, sure. You know, like it was one of those moments where like respect. I like the no loose ends. What's that?
Shoot him in the head.
Shoot him in the head. But of course, he has now found Kwanha's location, and he is bringing the battalion to go get her and to take her out, because the one part they didn't really explain is why he fears, because apparently he knows about the well, the mystics, the whatever this power is that the Hoff family has, and he fears it. Now, whether that's just because people believe the Hoff family to be maybe religious guidance for the entire planet, or you know, some sort of importance that, I mean, they just will always have influence over the people of Madrigal. I'm not really sure. They didn't quite go into that, and I kind of feel sad that they didn't dig into that a little bit more about how does Venture know about, other than, you know, I'm sure Jinha told people about the story and why it kind of rose him to power a little bit with the rebellion, but it just seemed unusual for sure. But yeah. Sorry, moving another spam person. I gotta figure out how this spam thing keeps.
It's a different one, I think, too.
Yeah.
I think they keep changing their thing just slightly enough where.
Well, you know, if you want to see them, the naked girls, I'm just kidding. Go subscribe to their channel. I'm just kidding.
Although, what the hell?
What?
What does ADV?
I don't know. No, we're not talking about it, Corey. People who are watching the replay crew are like, what is he talking about? Corey, go to our next slide. So this is where things get interesting. Obviously, Soren has arrived, and he's going to help Kwanha, even though she once again pulls a gun on him. And it's like, girl, seriously, he's gonna help you. Like, stop pulling a gun on him and give him back his gun, because you clearly don't know how to shoot.
Oh, it's gonna be like that.
Oh, it's gonna be like that.
That sounded pretty good.
What's that?
That sounded pretty good.
That did. That was pretty good. Yeah. So basically, they're preparing for the battle. Venture's bringing everyone. It's gonna be all out war in a moment here. And what do you know? Kwanha has a plan. Interesting enough. She's gonna fight him on her own territory, so she knows where everything's at. She knows the secrets of this little drilling site that they have. So basically, she's going to lure the wolves into the compound, and she's going to release the gas from this facility, and then blow everyone up in it. And as you know, her and Soren hide in a vault. So they in that same time they found a case full of money, so something that will
a steel vault.
Yeah,
kind of like it feels like an oven to me.
It probably was after all that time. But of course, here's like I loved this scene simply because Soren was a complete utter badass in it. Like he was literally like, I don't know, Corey, how many people would you guess Venture brought with him?
Brought with him?
Yeah, like brought to go get Kwanha.
I would say probably 30.
It was a lot. Yeah, I would 50. Yeah, 30 sounds right. To me, it was a cool scene. But
for one damn kid too.
Right. They're like, just one kid. She's a major problem. We just gotta
Halo
leave.
was really like, F that kid.
Which, I mean, that was kind of an interesting thing too, because his last reconnaissance told him that Soren was off planet and was no longer there. So he definitely went overboard. He was kind of like, one kid, I'll bring 30 soldiers. Hey, if you got them, why not use them? And in this case, smart move on his part. He planned for the worst, that she would somehow have an army of one man. And and that's all she needed, really, because Soren was just freaking effing people up. It kind of like it was the choreography was pretty good. It kind of, I don't know why, Corey, and maybe it's just because of the scenery. It kind of reminded me of the apocalyptic scene with Batman v Superman when he has that vision and he's in that desert and he's just whooping everyone's ass. Yeah, I kind of want. I mean, to me, that's like tier 1, just fantastic choreography for a fight scene, and I wanted this to match that. It didn't quite hit that on the mark. It had some cool moments, but there was like some jaggedy moments where like it felt like either bad cutting moments or they just bad choreography, where Soren like hit a dude and he like stared as if he was expecting like another thing to happen. And it was like just a weird like choreography pause where it was just like and cut,
fall down.
Right, like, yep, he's down. But it's getting crazy. Obviously Soren, while he's making good headway through all of Venture's guys, Kwanha is hiding. Well, not hiding. She's going through the tunnels to get to the gas so she can release it. Not doing any hard lifting, no hard work. It's all Soren. But he gets shot in the foot by Venture, so he's looking down out of the count, but out of nowhere, Kwanha finds the assault rifle that I believe Master Chief had in episode 1, which is silly that he didn't go back to go pick it up. I don't know why he wouldn't do that, but Master Chief's like, it fell out of my hands. I can't use it anymore. It's a superstitious thing. But she uses the assault rifle to shoot the pipes, which causes a giant explosion, consuming Venture and his crew as her and Soren hide out in the vault to get away from the flames. And they saved the day. Basically, Madrigal is free from Venture's crew. At least we think so. We think Venture is killed.
Hey, it looks kind of dead.
Well, you would think so. It looks like the flames got him. I mean, he's definitely charred. Maybe a Two-Face like character now. I will say one thing I didn't like about this particular scene, and you know what it reminded me of, Corey, and you're probably gonna laugh at me because of this. When Venture's like, your daddy and I were good friends, like we believed in each other. And then she gets on the speaker phone and she's like, my daddy hated you. I felt like it's like, one of those times when I was really little and you would insult me and then I would just come up with the worst comeback.
Yeah.
And you would laugh at me because, like, of course, as a kid, like, there's no way I could go up against my teenage brother who, just could come up with better insults than I could. It felt like that. It felt like, wow, that one didn't really land. Ooh. It felt like a Marvel moment almost, where it's just like, really? Like, that's the best you got? That's all you could say? Not like I'm gonna kill you. Like, even a simple like, I'm gonna kill you now. That would have been fine. But for her to be like, my daddy never liked you, drop the mic and he'd be like, okay. It was just kind of a silly scripted moment. But Corey, let's go ahead and go to the next slide as we wrap up the show for today. Okay, so the end, as Quan Ha has and Soren have saved the day, Madrigal is supposedly saved. As with any good space desert film, to let the crew know they've won, it rains. Why does it always rain in the desert? And that's like kind of the sign of hope. I think obviously because rain in the desert like creates life and stuff like that, and is a good sign. But it's just funny. It's almost like redundant. You know, it always happens. Like you now know in a desert there's going to be sand people who, you know, spices and resources are getting pulled from the desert, and then at some point there's going to be rain that gives you a sense of hope in the desert. That's always going to be the thing in any desert space film or show. But she makes good on her word, Corey. She gives Soren all the money.
I told you I was rich, bitch.
And a brand new ship. But she tells Soren, do not forget about me, for I will need your help once again. And I love that Soren, just like all of us, said basically like, I don't know about that. He's like, we'll see, you know.
Pretty sure I got all your money already.
Yeah, I got your money, I got your ship, Madrigal's saved, whatever. So it makes me think, I get the feeling the way they kind of ended Quan Ha's story that we won't really see her for the rest of the season.
We better not.
I think but I think they were totally leaving it as like she will probably return in season 2. What do you think about that, Corey?
We better not see her anymore this season. But I feel like, they may try to bring her back in episode 2 or something along those lines. But we can't see I'm boycotting if we see her again this season.
Okay, so now that we've I'm assuming, I mean, we could be wrong, but I'm assuming we've kind of seen the full arc of season 1 for Quan Ha. Corey, I mentioned to you that maybe they were going in a Ahsoka route where she's annoying and then she becomes this great, strong warrior leader. That is one of the reasons why everyone fell in love with Ahsoka. Was this satisfying for you? Was this like, okay, I'm okay with her character?
Was I okay with Quan Ha's character?
Yeah, like, did you end up liking Quan Ha's character? Assuming this is it for her for season 1.
Did I like her character? No. I still didn't like it.
Okay.
I guess we had an entire episode of Halo, and Master Chief didn't say a word. Thank God Master Chief was there. But Master Chief didn't say a word. And I go back and forth. I'm like, can they make a show where it's just Master Chief in every episode? Would I get tired of that? Probably not.
Okay.
Mom brought up an interesting point or comment.
Are you ready? Or
you're reading?
Oh, okay. So Super Bat Mom says, I have a comment about Quan Ha. Perhaps controversial. Ooh, hot take. Do you think we would like her better if she were more attractive, better hairstyle? I think we might see a lot of growth in her. Well, I mean, that is kind of an interesting thought process.
Yes, if she was hot.
Corey's just like, yeah, if she was attractive, I'd probably pay attention a little more to her story. I don't think it matters because if the story is written in a way where she's interesting and the script for her is good, then I think she's just an interesting character nonetheless. Like, I think a perfect example of this is Game of Thrones. I'm Brianna of something like there's a female knight who's she kind of looks boyish in a way, or a little more manly than most of the women in Game of Thrones, and she's a complete utter badass, and she's loved in that show, and it's because she's written very well. So I don't think it matters about the hairstyle or attractiveness, really. I mean, as long as it's just written well, I think people will care. And I think for her,
yeah, I feel like they can, in some ways, maybe they did her a little dirty, because in the very first episode, they basically wiped out her entire family, all of her friends, left them kids. So it was more, and we were expecting, you know, complete chaos and everything like that in the first episode, and Master Chief running around saving the day and a cool battle scene against the Covenant elites. And that's where it should have ended. Oh, there's one survivor and then just gone, you know? Yeah.
I mean, here's an interesting thing that when I was talking with people on Facebook pages about the Halo series, one person brought up, they're like, they didn't need Kwanha's story. Like, if they wanted to have a side quest or of, you know, of a story going on to show what's happening in the rebellion against the UNSC, have that be just Soren's story. And I was like, well, that's an interesting thought. What if they did just make it Soren's story and didn't really add the Kwanha thing there, where he finds the mystics and a well and stuff like that? So, Corey, take out Kwanha's story. Would you have liked this big reveal of you know, the fighting, the rebellion fighting against the UNSC, some of the UNSC's tactics that we've seen, you know, America do with, you know, putting one of, you know, that country's own as their leader, but it's really that person is, you know, assisting the United States, you know, goals for that region. I mean, it's kind of what the UNSC did with Venture. What if they took out Kwanha and it's simply just Soren's side quest story?
I'm not really sure how you do that, so I'd be interested maybe a little bit more. Is Master Chief there?
Oh, I mean, I think his story would become involved at some point, and I still think it will be, because now we have a Forerunner,
like he's just
portal
doing,
artifact.
But on the flip side too, would he call Master Chief? You know, I'm not sure how it gets connected, you know, to Master Chief, because they used Kwanha to connect him and Master Chief back together. So I'm not sure how they would go about that. Like, oh, you know, Soren finds them and it finds all these things, you know. Does he, first thing he do as a pirate, call up UNSC? Like, hey, is Master Chief still around? I need to talk to him, you know. I'm not sure how they would do that. So was Kwanha maybe necessary to find this portion of it? Maybe. Mom later mentioned Kwanha is starting off as a pretty clumsy, immature character, perhaps with growth in later episodes. We will see how far she goes. Yes, I think that's a possibility, and maybe she'll become more interesting. Restore the Snyderverse guy says she is okay, not terrible. Trevor H says, I don't mind her, but I don't care for her either.
Okay.
Koopy, what's up, buddy?
What up, Koopy?
Koopy said, Trey and Corey, I've been meaning to ask you, is the series story canon with the other media, or is it its own thing?
I think it's its own thing, Koopy Malik. I've heard a lot of people reference it as the Silver Team timeline. And I think that's probably pretty accurate, because we've already seen a lot of things that time-wise don't match with what's going on in the Halo world. Corey, when you have a second, as we're starting to wrap up this episode, will you pull up episode 8's teaser, please?
Already up.
Oh, already. Super Bro Corey, ladies and gentlemen. He's the man of steel for sure. But so I think it's its own thing. I mean, the Covenant working with a human character that has a giant place in their council amongst the prophets. I don't recall that being canon, you know, and they've already done some things with Master Chief. I mean, the Blessed One is a new concept. I mean, we've heard of Reclaimer from the Monitor, but we haven't heard Blessed One. I don't think they've ever mentioned Blessed One. So I think it's its own thing within some of the lore of Halo. They're taking creative liberties. They are, whether you like it or not. I think, and this is why it's really interesting for someone like Super Batmom, who's only seen us play the games, but probably has no idea really of the in-depth story and lore, the story and the lore of Halo versus, and now
I'm
she's
pretty sure
watching
the
the show.
only thing I showed Mom when we were playing video games was me teabagging you. Like, look at this, Mom. Ah, boom, 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 boom.
Yep. Well,
It means I'll go fuck yourself.
so yeah, so I don't think it's really canon. It's its own thing, really. Me personally, I didn't quite get the Ahsoka story arc that I was hoping for her. It could continue as she happens in season 2. If they do bring her back, they got to improve her script. They can't make her the moody teen anymore. They can't make her the immature. And I get like they were trying to use that for this particular episode because she gets very raged very quickly. And throws temper tantrums. Hopefully they realize, okay, like she didn't hit with people. This is an opportunity to where she comes back. And I think to help mature her a little bit is finally give her the rebellion. She's the leader. She's doing somewhat good, but have her lose it all again to help give her that arc of trying to, move on from that, losing her people, which I think that does happen in Halo canon lore is Madrigal at some point will fall. So maybe that's the story. And then have her become a valuable member to the UNSC, a mature woman who can lead. I don't know, make her an ODST eventually or something like that. Make her someone who rises to the occasion and rises to the call of action. What?
ODST, Quan, huh?
Yeah, someone ODST is badass. So I'm trying to think the most badass thing. She can't become a Spartan. They sound I think she's too old.
Imagine, Trey, she grows up hating the UNSC just to get reprogrammed to become the UNSC.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the redemption arc, right? But not only that, it's at some point the rebellion is going to realize that they can't fight the Covenant on their own. That there's a bigger enemy out there and that the humanity is going to have to come together to fight the Covenant and eventually the Flood.
New World Order, huh?
Well, yeah, essentially. But so that's kind of my thoughts on the Quanha. Corey, as we come down to it, that's the end of episode 7, Inheritance. Perfect title for that episode. What do you rate it out of 10?
I'm probably going to give it. So we've talked about our episodes. Our first one, that episode 1, I think I gave it a 5.7.
Okay.
Because I didn't like Master Chief taking his face off. I think for this episode, I'm giving it like a 6.4.
Okay.
And is 6.4 fair? I said the score. I can't go back. I'm saying 6.4 because not much Master Chief. I did enjoy Master Chief killing her multiple times. I did enjoy Soren's story a lot.
Okay.
But I'm still wanting more from these Halo series. I want more Covenant. I want more battles and stuff like that. And hopefully we'll see this starting to pick up some in this next episode.
Okay.
I did appreciate that. Thank God this episode had, some fight scenes. Otherwise, it'd probably be under a 5 for me. But yeah, I'm gonna with the scores that I've given other episodes, I feel like I have to stay in that 6.4 area because I think I've only touched like 7 a few times and 8 once so far.
Okay. I think there was elements this is where I say I was very conflicted with this episode because I liked what happened like the mysteries that happened in this episode, the secret of the well, the monitor, the portal, where does it lead? I love that stuff. Like the thing that makes me go like, ooh, I can't wait until we dive into that. That gets me excited. Soren was just phenomenal in this show. I loved Soren to death in this show. Like this particular episode, he was a badass. He was the pirate that we all heard about. I wish we saw more of it. I wish we saw him taking the freight with his crew and doing a cool little action sequence out of that. I liked the whole Fight Club vision that she had with Master Chief, because it was an interesting way to kind of tell that story of how she needs to get rid of her rage and stuff like that. My biggest issue with this episode was the script for Kwanha, especially, is that her development, her character arc, even through the vision, didn't happen as smoothly as I wanted to see. And it's still like clearly she sees her dad and all of a sudden she's like, okay, I'm better. But then she pulls the gun on Soren again, you know. There's just like elements, and her comeback on the adventure when he says, your dad and I were friends, like, we don't have to do this. It was just kind of interesting. So I'm still not crazy about her. As I've said before, my episode ratings throughout have kind of changed, and we'll talk about that on our season finale review. Now that I saw the whole story arc. So right now, I think I'm kind of in 6-8 territory, 6-9.
Okay.
Because there were scenes I liked. If the script was better for some of those moments, I would have been over a 7. But what's everyone else saying?
So Oracle's Clock Tower gave it a 7-1. Batwoman 7-3. Mistress of Mayhem said 6-9.
Okay.
7-1 from Beyond the Night. 6-5 from Red Hooded Outlaw.
Okay.
6-7 from Trevor H. 7-1 from Bat Fanatic. 7-2 from #Restore the Snyderverse guy. And 7-2 from the Butler. So yeah, it's all in that 7-tier range. So it's average of it all is probably in that 7.
Okay. All right. So we're kind of in the mid 6s, early 7s. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair way to go about it. Corey, you have teaser trailer 8 up, right?
Yeah, let me share screen.
So guys, as we always do with our spoiler reviews, we always pull up the teaser trailer for the next episode that we're going to react with you guys and just kind of see where they're going with it.
Shit.
Like I said, I think we're back to some butts. Okay, so YouTube, please don't get mad at us for nudity. I don't think they'd do it. It's gonna be on YouTube. Okay, here we go. Coming out in 3, 2, 1, play.
We can't do anything without John. And he has turned his back on us.
Hang on. Why did the Covenant want it so bad?
This prophecy, propelling all of those who are worthy on a great journey.
Orbital defenses were wiped out immediately. The search for survivors has begun.
Key can show us where they are. She was turned against us, but she is us, Captain. Chief Big Long just manually override decades of indoctrination. I did.
Huh.
Signal the Spartans.
What about Master Chief? Why isn't he here?
He can no longer be trusted to stay on mission.
This is dirty business, all of it.
They need us, Kutan, to save them from themselves.
Oh. This is giving. I'm excited for this one. There's some cool stuff going on.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh.
What are your thoughts, Trey?
I can't wait for it because it is interesting that we're seeing John kind of stick up for Maki now, or Maki, as his mom has been mentioning, that because he's connected to her through the artifact, that he might find comfort and trust her for those very reasons. Sounds like he's going to learn about the great journey. about what the Prophet's goal is, which I'm excited for that. Hopefully they don't ruin some of the reveals yet, because there's something Master Chief isn't supposed to know yet about the Halo ring. So we'll see.
I was wondering if how this McKee feed was going to turn out, and I think Mom may be on to something with my key as well too. Obviously, she's not in the games.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, does she eventually start to become with the human side of things? So that was interesting that they said years of indoctrination.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I love that they're kind of putting Master Chief on not on ice, but they're putting him on the bench, and I think that will lead for possibly the end of Silver Team. I don't think Silver Team's going to make it, and it's going to set Master Chief off on being kind of the solo Spartan that we know in the games.
Well, yeah, we're about to see all the Spartans get wrecked, huh?
I think so. So I'm excited for episode 8. I think it's going to be good. Of course, guys, next Saturday we'll do our live review. Once again, we hope you guys can join us for that. I will be in the mountains, because it'll be my Wonder Wife's birthday weekend, so I won't have the same cool setup that I have. Maybe I'll do it outside and in the fresh air and stuff like that to have a little bit of beautiful scenery. I'm not sure exactly if there will be, but we'll see. Kubi Max says, Trey, is it safe to assume the series is inspired by and not based on Halo game franchise? That's a wonderful question. I would say it's probably still based on, but they're taking,
because 343 is involved heavily.
Yeah,
connecting things.
They're just
there's
kind of
probably things that the 343 is like, yeah, no, we don't really like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Paramount's show, so they're gonna do. They do have the advice from 343. Baffinack with a $5 super chat. This was a damn good review and discussion. Yeah, I felt like this was a fun one to review and kind of talk about. Thank you so much, Baffinack.
This was a episode we were a little worried about too.
Yeah, I really thought this was going to be the worst episode, and like I said, I have issues with it. I have a lot of issues, and it's all on Kwanha basically. But there was a lot of things that intrigued me that this episode had. So thank you so much, Baffinack, for that $5 super chat, sir. I really do appreciate it. Corey, can you play my man something real quick?
Yeah, let's see. Which one do we want to do? We haven't done this one in a while.
When we meet the enemy, we will rip their skulls from their spines and toss them away laughing. Am I right, Marines?
Sir, yes, sir.
Damn right I am.
I love that one so much.
I figured since we're getting ready for battle, the Spartans are getting ready, which I guess in some ways, Sarge lied to those Marines.
Oh.
They killed all the Spartans, Marines. We're going to send you out there now with less armor and not as
what we have to protect ourselves against the Covenant plasma bullets.
Your UNSC issued uniforms, of course.
Should do something. All right, guys, as it's coming down to the end, and I can see my wife is going to start being like, Trey, we have to go down and help my brother with packing up his dorm today. Guys, don't forget, on season finale, May 21st, after we do our season 9 review, because I think it's only 9 episodes they're doing, we are going to be having a game party later that night. And whoops, we had another spam. Thank you. I saw someone took care of that. Cool. Whoops. 1 second.
It's like Saturday morning. They're like, what are you guys doing? You shouldn't be doing Halo. You should be doing other things right now.
No, correct.
Saturday morning.
Saturday mornings. Those are our gamer tags. You can send us friend requests now. Just put in your message, hey, from the Bat Channel Halo series. So that way we know it's not like some weird, because I've been getting those lately of like
set up a damn Facebook event.
I will. I'm going to do it. I've just been busy, man. I've been working. You know, you could do it too. But yes, I'll set up a game event. But yes, May 21st at 9 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing our season finale Halo game party on Halo Infinite. We hope you guys can join us there. And there we go.
What's up?
Oh, I was just putting up the slide, but we hope you guys can join us for our Halo game party. We're just gonna have a good time. Just hopefully, depending on how many people we'll have, we'll either do the small team missions or the big, the big battles. So on Xbox, PC, hit us up at Titans Valor 12 and Corey's is Biggie C72. Definitely send us a message, and we don't do all the battles. We're
Help
just gonna
us fight. Teabag trade.
No.
Let's have the entire TBC fam teabag.
No, ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. I mean, I'll rage quit. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Get us to 1,400 subs because we are so close to that. Share this video. And guys, what really helps us at the end of this video to help YouTube kick in those algorithms for us, comment on this video, comment your favorite thing, comment hashtag Halo the series. Just get all the comments up in there. You can comment as much as you want, but just share this video with your friends. Help spread the word as we get our channel bigger and make our Bat family grow all the more. But guys, thank you so much. It's great to see you here. I am your host, Trey, with
Super Bro Corey.
And don't forget to what?
She said,
what?
Corey. Because she saw me doing this.
Oh, yeah. Corey. That's so mom. And guys, don't forget to celebrate Mother's Day. Buy her flowers, buy her dinner. Tell her that you love her. Just
love you, mommy.
Love you, mom.
Mommy.
Martha.
Mommy.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys there. I'm gonna go watch Doctor Strange in a little bit here as well. We'll talk about it on our next live stream. The return of the Spider-Man channel.
I should probably go see it then too.
Possibly, if you want to, unless you want me to spoil it for you guys. But thank you guys so much. Don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same bad time.
Same bad channel.
Master Chief out.
Master Chief out. See you later.